Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Steel Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, David Barrow from SteelSanctuary.com. And this is my co host, David Korob. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
Steelers have made their first round pick. It's offensive tackle Troy Fuatanu from the University of Washington, left tackle. Going to be maybe right tackle. We don't know. Lots of talk of him being kicked inside before the draft. Dave, give me your thoughts right off the bat.
Um, Honestly, I forgot about the damn guy when they picked. Uh, I I didn't. I thought he was gone already. There's so many guys with almost matching names. Fuaga, Futananu. I thought he was gone
Yeah, I
already.
know what you're talking about.
So, and then I got so fixated on every top corner being available. I was like, oh my gosh, they can have their pick at any corner they want in the draft. And then I started thinking about wide receivers, and I was like, wait, Brian Thomas is still there. Like, what route are they going? Graham Barton, we talked about him, and I was like, oh my God, it did not. I got so used to not thinking that he would be there for them to take that he wasn't even on my mind. So then when they took him, I was like, oh my God, he was still there. And you saw uh, one of the scouts on there say that he was 11th on his board overall.
Daniel Jeremiah, yeah.
Daniel Jeremiah.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So a guy now, the medicals, and that's why. That's why he fell to the Steelers.
Yeah.
Liz Frank injury, and then I think he had a knee injury too. I think he
Yeah.
said,
They said the Liz Frank injury is still not settled
which
and
I
could
thought
require
was,
surgery at some point, which is
yeah, that's
terrifying.
troubling. Yeah,
Um, there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, like you said, I trust Daniel Jeremiah a lot. I think he's really good at what he does. If
yeah.
he's 11th on his board, that says something. I know our buddy Nick Farabaw's tickled pink with this pick. He loves it. He thinks it's a great pick. Man, you they passed up on the best corner in the draft and the best center in the draft
Yeah,
to take third, fourth best tackle in the draft, depending on who you
that's
listen
your
to.
opinion. That's your opinion.
Well, he was drafted fourth, fifth tackle. What was how many tackles? Before,
Right,
so that says something.
but professional
It's not just my
scouts are ranked,
opinion.
but professional scouts are ranking him 11th overall. Overall,
That's one
that's
scout, but
okay.
one
Well,
former scout.
okay, but you're also forgetting we thought he'd be taken before Mims and all them. He was ranked higher by a lot of
Um,
people. Nobody never thought that he'd be taken after those other guys. Like he was one of the ones thought to go before Mims. You have to you have to admit that
uh,
because we both didn't think he'd be there for the Steelers to
yeah,
pick
no, yeah.
anyways.
I mean, he was. But remember, we talked towards the end of this thing where him and Fuaga might fall because a lot of people were saying they were going to get kicked inside, and they weren't really going to play tackle at the next level. So I I don't know. I'm willing to wait and see and let it play out, but
We never
this
thought this guy would fall to the Steelers. That's why I think it's kind of one of those weird picks for us because nobody thought this guy would fall to the Steelers, Dave. That's the whole point of this. He was all projected to go way before 20. That's the whole thing about it. That's what makes it interesting. However, comma, the medicals is what concerns me. That's what makes this pick nerve wracking for me is that, you
yeah,
know,
they've shown that they don't care about medicals as much anymore at all.
yes,
With some of the
yes,
picks and some that made just one
right,
year. You know,
right.
so
So it's one of those things. It's tough to like. I'm sitting here and I'm not. Oh my god, we got him. But at the same time, I'm not like really down about it. I'm just like, there's my reaction to it's kind of like, okay, cool. We got a guy that fell in the draft that could be really good, but the medicals is what causes me to pause a little bit.
and
So
he's only 6'3", and you know how they like tackles to be 6'5". I don't make as big a deal out of it. Some people do, but some people that's a threshold they don't go below. You're either 6'5" and you're a tackle, or if you're not, you get kicked inside. So it's a weird pick for me. This is like you said, we never considered Fuatanu really because they haven't drafted a West Coast guy in the first round since DeCastro. They didn't go anywhere near Washington
no, they did.
for the pro day. I think Pat Meyer went though. I think Pat Meyer went to Washington, Oregon,
We
and
would have
Oregon State.
we would have to look. Yeah, we'd have to
Um,
look. I might have that up.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just bummed because Mims got drafted, and that was really the tackle I wanted him to get. And after that, I'm like, well, if Mims isn't there, change gears. You could have had Terrion Arnold, or Quinion Mitchell at this point. I don't know. When people talk about value,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. And then, you know, the injury thing, which I had no idea about, and I don't think any of us did until Rappaport reported it. You know, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to stay open minded on it. I'm not initially super happy about it.
Right. I have it here. I'm sifting through the list of all the visits, trying to find Washington so that
I'm pretty sure
I
Pat
can,
Meyer went to.
cause I think that's, I think that's what it is. They, and this is the first time in a long time they took a guy that they didn't bring the whole family,
Yeah.
the whole franchise to go
Yeah.
watch. So, but I also think that they didn't think he'd be there. I really think that's what it is. Where in the hell is Washington? Was that one of the last ones or something? Washington. Here it is. Pat Meyer and Mark Bruner,
Yeah.
area scout Mark Bruner were there. So yeah, I mean, this is I honestly think they didn't think he'd be there for them. So then when it happened, they were like, okay, you know, but didn't I think there's a lot they didn't expect to happen here, Dave, and that was having the
It did
top
break the draft break
top
broke weird.
that was incredible. That's the first time ever you had that many offensive players taken in a row
Yeah.
in a draft.
Six
Nobody,
quarterbacks in the top 15 is just
nobody,
nuts.
nobody saw that coming. Nobody. Like so, I just nobody on earth predicted they were going to get this guy. Nobody.
Von Woodruff is saying that Tomlin's saying he's going to play tackle, wouldn't commit to left or right. He played left tackle in college, which is also interesting because
Yeah,
now do you leave Broderick Jones at right tackle forever now? Is that what we're
yeah.
going to do?
And then Tanner Myers is pretty happy the way the board fell. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the way it fell too because I I didn't think we'd get that guy because like I said, it's just a weird pick for us because none of us thought that happened. None of us.
No, like I said earlier, I think people were saying that Fuatanu might fall because of the sick being only 6'3", but not to 20. Definitely not to 20. I mean, I have to go back and watch it too, because I got to admit I haven't watched much of him at all. Because again, he wasn't on our radar at all. My initial gut reaction is I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't. Then we have the question of now we play the game of chicken tomorrow at center
Yeah, yeah.
because do one of these centers make it to 51 or are we gonna be screwed? And if I check the draft check tracker real quick to see, a lot of people are saying Dallas.
Dolphins took Chop Robinson. Eagles took Quinnen Mitchell. So they weren't that big on Quinnen Mitchell like we thought they were.
Mitchell's. The Cowboys will be interesting to see if they take.
Jaguars took Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, Brian Thomas Jr. was on the board too.
Cowboys is up next.
Yeah, so, they're the ones that need a center pretty bad. So yeah, I could see Barton going there.
Yeah, this JPJ. Yeah, it could happen.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we didn't even talk about Brian Thomas and AD Mitchell being on the board too.
Right, but that shit about them wanting to trade up for Quinnen Mitchell, they didn't even have to trade up.
Yeah, so that was, I don't think anybody saw this. So like the way this board was going to break.
But they decided. But here's the thing that you got to remember. What did we talk about the other day? This is a 2-for-1 move they just made.
Maybe.
Did he play right or left tackle?
He played left tackle. He played left tackle. Yeah. So now what?
That kind of makes sense.
Do you leave your left tackle that you traded up for last year and leave him at right tackle, or do you move this kid? And
well, now I am kind of confused. I thought he played right tackle too.
No, and I guess it's not a big deal. They could, I don't know. Broderick Jones didn't look that great at right tackle at the end of the season, so my instinct would be to move him to left and try Fuatanu at right to see how that goes. But
oh man, see now I am down more on the pick. I thought okay, I thought he could play right tackle, but Now you're telling me he didn't. So now I'm like,
He
shit.
might have to though, Dave. Too. He's a smaller right. He's only 6'3", 315, which is kind of on the small side. When the guys we were looking at, like Mims was 6'7", 340 or whatever the hell he was,
Yeah, well,
and a couple of the other.
I think it's the leadership qualities he showed too. Did you hear them talking that up?
Yeah, I
They
mean,
were he got voted like that. He won that award at, like for the Cowboys are trading down and out of the 24th overall pick in a deal with the Lions, moving them to
oh
29th.
wow, I don't think the Lions are going to take a center. No, that's interesting. Maybe a center
Yeah.
will fall to them in 51.
No, you know what they're going to take? They're going to take a corner
Probably. Terry
because they
Arnold's still on the
lost.
board.
They lost Cam
Oh,
Sutton.
Cam Sutton. That's right. That's right. Here's the official measurements on Fuatano: 6'3" and a quarter, 317 pounds. Does have 34-inch arms, which is the only 67th percentile, but it's like the cutoff. That's good arm
Right.
length. He was 32 and a half vert, which is 90th percentile, and 113 broad jump, which is 91st percentile. They were saying on the broadcast he's an excellent athlete, real good athlete. This is probably like an Arthur Smith kind of pick because he's athletic. He can pull and do stuff like that in the screen game. He'll be a good offensive lineman in that way. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm going to withhold judgment for now. I just don't love it for a number of reasons. And this guy
Yeah.
could be great, and that would be great if they solve the left. If they have solved the tackle positions for the next 6, 7, 8 years, then great. This is a great pick, home run. I don't know. Maybe again, it's still fresh. I was really bummed out. Mims got picked by the Bengals. I thought for sure he was going to
Yeah,
slide.
that hurt. Yeah, I hurt.
And then
Yeah, I was
when
hoping
he
too.
went, I'm like, all right, well, they can lock down center with Barton or JPJ, and we
Right.
got our center for the next 10 years. So when the Fatano pick came out, I'm like, oh man. And then there was always
Yeah,
the thought of
you
Quinion Mitchell and
well, and that's the
Joey
problem.
Porter Jr.
You got fixated on one thing, and you
Oh
didn't get it.
yeah.
And I because I was the same way. I was thinking corner. I was like, oh my god, we could have the top corner in the draft. And it was just like, wait, who? I was like, wait, I didn't. I thought he was gone already. Like, that's how I was. I was completely confused. I was like, wait, what?
even Daniel Jeremiah was saying at some points, he's like, when I think it was whoever traded up with Jacksonville took a defensive edge. He's like, oh, I forgot he was on the board because all these offensive players. He was like my 7th or 8th guy on my board, but he kept falling because I think it was Jared Verse when Jared Verse got picked.
Yeah, yeah,
And he was so it was just a weird draft overall. Weird draft. Penix going to the fucking Falcons. What are they doing? I don't want to get sidetracked too much, but Jesus Christ, you just signed Kirk Cousins for a mega deal, and you take Penix.
yeah. I don't know. Very
That's
strange.
crazy.
Very strange. I don't. I don't, dude. I don't.
But it worked out for the Steelers because it just dropped everyone
This draft was incredibly weird. 14 straight picks of what offensive
off
players.
offensive players.
Like the closest was what 2021. They said 8 players, I think, or 7. Like
Yeah,
it eclipsed it by by a lot. Like that's insane. So I really think that maybe that threw the Steelers off a little bit. They're kind of like, holy crap! Like we've got picket players that were projected to go top 10, top 5, we'll say top 12. Dude, Arnold was I was seeing mocks always getting taken in the top 10.
yeah. Quinion Mitchell too was like top 6, top 7 in some of the board I saw.
Fatanu was like around 12.
Yeah,
He was anywhere between 11 and like 14. And then you would have Fuaga and them getting taken between 15 and say 18. And then Mims was always between 15 and 20, right? So to see him fall that far, medicals. And again, the Steelers have shown they've changed the way they do things. They now don't care about medicals as much as they used to. They stay true to whatever. They don't care.
That's a dangerous game though.
It is.
They took 2 medical guys in the draft last year. One missed the season, and one worked out.
And he was one of the ones that they had visit, correct?
Yes,
because they had like 6 of them. I have it right here.
Both came in.
Yeah, it was Travis Glover, Talise Fuaga, Troy Fatanu, Amaris Mims, Matt Conclaves, Stephen Jones, and Mason McCormick, and Blake Fisher, Tyler Guyton, Travis Clayton. Damn, they had a lot of tackles
Yeah.
coming for a visit.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were definitely they signaled they were going after a tackle. So,
Yep.
to make
And
this
his
pick, let me say something real quick. For them to make this pick, I am hoping that maybe they had a talk with him about playing right tackle, and he said he would feel comfortable playing right tackle. That maybe that's why they made the pick.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Or maybe they
And
like
medicals,
Broderick
he
Jones at
came
right
in for a
tackle.
visit. They probably had their doctors
That
look at him
yeah.
and their medical
Well,
staff and all that too.
Rappaport did say they were okay with his medicals. That's the first
There
thing
you
he
go.
said
There you go.
before he listed. Yeah, I don't know, man. That doesn't mean a hell of a lot to me because they were comfortable with Trice's medicals and they were comfortable with Washington's
Well,
medicals, and
well, the thing is that
so
they're comfortable with his medicals, but yet they're saying on TV that the whole thing with his Liz Frank injury might not be settled yet. I'm like, wait, what?
yeah,
Like
it's weird.
that is weird.
And then just to top it off, too, I was just looking. He is in the third percentile for height for left tackles at 6'3.5".
Third percentile. Wow.
He's probably the shortest left tackle in the league right now.
Yep. Lions took Terry and Arnold.
They did.
Yep. I had figured they're gonna need
Yeah.
somebody to take Cam Sutton's
Yeah.
place.
I said during the draft that I thought the Steelers should trade back into the first round now because there was so many guys, but now they're starting to come off the board pretty fast. So, I mean, if they came out of the first round with Fuatano and Barton or Fuatano and JPJ, that'd be something. But
Well,
that's not going to
I
come to them at 50.
I was gonna say I still think you might be onto something. They still might need to trade up and go grab one of these centers before they're gone.
And maybe early in the second tomorrow. It doesn't look like they're going to do it today. Um, yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't want to be too much of a down because this guy could turn out to be a great left tackle. And I just tweeted out, it gave me a little bit of shades of 2016, where the Bengals took the corner we wanted, and we ended up drafting
Artie Burns.
Artie Burns.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is, the Bengals got the tackle we wanted, and we're like, oh, fuck, Fuitano's next on our board. Now he's got medicals. I don't worry about it. We'll just take it because we want to tackle.
Yeah. I'm not going to go quite
Let's
there.
hope that's not the case.
Well, here's the reason why I don't think it's. I'm not going to look at it that way, and here's why. Artie Burns was a projected at best second to third rounder, and they took him in the first.
Yeah.
Whenever the Bengals took William Jackson the third, I believe. This is completely different. This is where you had a guy projected better to go higher than Mims.
Yes.
Fell to the Steelers. So I'm not gonna compare him to the Artie Burns thing. I'm not gonna go there because it'd be one thing if he was like a second or third projected rounder, but since he was actually higher than Mims and then just fell to them because of medicals. So I'm not gonna go that far. I mean, I just think the draft in general could have thrown him off a little bit too. Like I said, it has to do. It was such a weird first round. It's not even over yet, but I'm just concerned with the medicals. If the kid's medicals are indeed good, then it's a great pick. I think it'll be a great pick. I mean, you don't get ranked top 11 overall by that Jeremiah guy, but without there being some credence to it, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I heard Daniel Jeremiah say over and over again that he thought Fuitano was going to get kicked inside. So maybe he had him that high because he thought it was like a Pro Bowl guard.
And can you imagine if that's what their plan is? They wanted a backup plan because this is
well, we had talked about earlier. Remember a couple of weeks ago that maybe they draft Fuitano or Fuaga and make him center.
Right.
I know they're saying he's a tackle right now, so that might not be an issue. But would that shock you later on?
Or the backup plan to Daniels?
Yeah.
This is his last year's contract, right? Didn't you bring that up? I thought you brought that up.
Daniels is going to be a free agent next year. Yes.
So what if we are looking at this the wrong way? Maybe there is a chance they're looking to bump him inside a guard. I hope not center though.
Keep Dan Moore.
Dude, Dave, I will lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, you thought Barton was a bad move.
If they try to convert a guy that's never played center in his entire life, right? He's never played center.
I don't
Correct.
believe he has. No, I don't believe he has played
This
center in his life.
this would be astronomically dumb if they tried this.
I don't see it because, well, what's Tomlin going to say in the press conference? Well, yeah, we're changing him. He's probably going to say he's tackle for now.
So he
Just like
said,
he said, whatchamacallit was a plug and play center when they drafted him in the third round, Kendrick Green.
yeah,
I don't know. I thought there was an opportunity here to do something different, and they kind of stuck to not do something different, but the top guys on the board at center and corner were there.
yeah. I think
That's
you
what
were
bugs
looking
me a
for.
little bit in the back of my mind.
I think you
The
were looking
top
for
guys
this,
at those
this,
positions, and maybe
this,
they don't
the
have.
splash, the splash
Yeah,
take a top player at his position
yep.
that
And maybe
fell.
they don't have
Yeah,
Mitchell
yeah.
and Arnold that high on their board. I don't know. Um, we'll see. We'll see how they do in the second and third round. Um, it is a surprise though. It was. I don't think anybody had Furtado on their mock draft.
No,
And if you
not
do, if you're
one.
going to claim that, I need to see the receipts because I don't think anybody had that
Yeah, and
for
it
a
better show,
variety of reasons.
and it better not show tonight's date after the pick we
Yeah,
make.
yeah, um, yeah. I never once considered Furtado as the guy.
No, I didn't think he'd be there. Never even crossed my mind that he would ever make it.
Yeah, right. I mean, wouldn't make it. He didn't. I don't know. In my mind, he didn't. And maybe I'm too fixated on the height, which I got to get over because it kind of rings about Kenny Pickett's hands, right? The small hands, the shortness.
I'm not gonna. I'm not that.
I know I'm
That
trying to poke
stuff to
holes in
me.
this, not purposely, but I'm a little concerned. I had, like I said, I had Mims on the brain. I was
Yeah,
all excited when Mims got to 18. I was like, this is it. Because people kept saying the Bengals might take him, but they have two tackles. They have Orlando Brown and they have somebody else. So they have their starting tackles in place. So that
yeah.
this was a little bit of a luxury pick for the Bengals.
Waiting to see if the 25th pick was taken yet. Packers.
I think the Packers might need a center
They
too.
took offensive tackle Jordan Morgan, Arizona.
I heard he might sneak into the first round. I heard people were
Wow,
getting high on him. We
wow.
got late buzz.
Another tackle. Damn. All right.
Yeah. Tackles went. Tackles. How many tackles is that now? 6?
I think it is. Yeah, it's around 5 or 6.
Fashano went. Alt went. Fuaga went. Yeah, it's quite a few. No center yet, which is interesting. But both the top corners are now gone.
Dude, I really hope. I'm praying here that the JPJ and Barton somehow fall to the second round. I don't think we get that lucky, but I'm hoping it happens. If it happens, then I'm going to be really amped for tomorrow night because then there is a slight chance that one of those top centers does fall to the Steelers, or
If
enough they can trade up without giving up too much. I'm so
yeah,
scared they're going to give up too much. That's the only thing I hate.
yeah,
I don't want to see them
yeah.
give too much to move up. So, yeah, dude, pray. Oh God, they're talking about. I'm watching one of these channels on my TV, and like they're talking about Graham Barton right now. It's like, dude, shut up. Like,
If we get out of the first round without a center taken, then I can almost guarantee you at least Frazier will be there at 51.
yep,
If one of these guys gets sniped before the first round's over, then you got to worry again.
yeah.
Who are they
You got to
talking Graham
remember,
Barton to? The
only
Bengals?
only three wide receivers have been taken in this draft.
I know.
All those wide
I
receivers.
would love to see the Steelers trade back in and get like Adonai Mitchell or
right.
well, Brian Thomas just went right, so
Yeah,
a
that's
little
what I'm saying.
while ago.
That's only 3 wide receivers have been taken. That's it, right?
Neighbors and him, yeah.
Neighbors,
Right.
Harrison, and him. I think that's it.
Oh no, Adunze,
So
that's 4.
all 4. Okay,
Adunze didn't
but
go.
still,
Yeah.
that's not even a Danye Mitchell's still there. AD Mitchell's still there. So like, if there's not gonna be a big wide receiver sweep here in the first round, they got those 2 they can go after. There's a lot of impact players they can still go after. They got pushed down the board because nobody saw,
Yeah.
6 fucking quarterbacks getting taken in the first 12 picks. Nobody saw that coming.
I think the
And
Vegas over-under was 5 quarterbacks in the first round because they weren't sure. They
right,
weren't sure between Penix and Nix going, and they both ended up going.
right. So you factor that all happening, And then it was just nothing but offensive players. That pushed a ton of defensive players down the board that now pushes like your day two players or some of your day one players you didn't think would be there. Now they're going to be there day two.
Yep. And at this point, I don't think there'll be any tackles left at 51 by the time the Steelers. None of the big, maybe, guys like Fisher or somebody like that. But it seems pretty clear that by the end of this draft, all the big tackles will be gone. The only one left really is Guyton.
Right.
At and this point of the first year.
I'm waiting for someone to take him because he actually is a right tackle. And actually, I told my son, I was like, Guyton might be the guy. They might, if they really want to move Broderick back to left, they might pull the trigger on him, even though he wasn't really the projected guy. No one's made another pick yet, but yeah,
the perfect pick.
Oh, dude, if he would have fell, Mims was the guy. Yeah, I liked Mims too. I really did. But hey, it didn't happen. So TJ said on here, no Ayuk trade yet. No,
yeah, that's true too. I didn't even think of that. That's another thing that could hit as a wide receiver trade. No Cortland Sutton trade either yet.
No,
that's another one that was rumored to be going.
No, that was the rumor. Was
not a lot of trades, period, in this draft.
No,
a couple.
No, they made it out like it was going to be insanity, and it wasn't.
Really wasn't. The Vikings killed this draft. They got JJ McCarthy, and then they get the best pass rusher in the draft later on, trading back in. So I think they killed
look. I gotta be honest too, and I know this sounds kind of crazy. I actually like what the Bears did.
If you
factor in
Dunze at 9
and Caleb Williams, and you talk about who they added, like who they added to the running back room, trading for Chargers. Can't think of his name right now. I'm tired.
Oh yeah, wide receiver.
Yeah. So you think about that too.
That's right. I forgot about
dude.
That.
They made some moves to make now that offense looks. Oh, Swift.
You see
they had Swift to running back room, and then getting the Chargers wide receiver, dude. They now on paper, they look pretty good on offense.
Did you see the haul they've gotten for that trade with Carolina last year? They got the first overall pick. They got a Dunze from Dunze was their own pick. They got Caleb Williams. They got all kinds of players. Carolina is never going to recover from that trade.
No,
never.
No.
They whiffed on the quarterback and they traded too much away. It's crazy.
Like the only team that Carolina won a trade with was the Steelers.
What's that? I'm sorry.
The only trade that Carolina won a trade with was the Steelers.
Yeah.
And that was literally it.
I wanted to touch a little bit on the Deontay Johnson trade before we get out of here. Bro, it looks dumber by the minute because they get Dante Jackson. They could have had Deontay Johnson and Quinyon Mitchell. They could have had Deontay Johnson and Terrion Arnold. I mean,
yeah,
the trade looks worse and worse every time. You get this.
I mean, they can't predict that. They can't predict what's going to happen. Nobody can predict that.
It is what it is, though. I mean, that's the facts. I mean, you traded a good wide receiver for a second-rate corner, and all the corners fell in the draft.
Vaughn said that in reporters reporting there could be a trade, a lot of action in the late 20s from teams trying to come up.
Yeah. So if the Steelers trade back in and grab Mitchell or Barton or somebody like that, then I'll be like, well, that's something. I don't know what it would take to cut from 51 into the first round, though. That's going to cost you a lot.
Right. Buccaneers took offensive guard Graham Barton. There it is.
There goes Graham Barton.
Yep.
I hope we don't regret looking back that Graham Barton would have been the pick. Now, I don't know where the Buccaneers plan on playing him, tackle, guard, center, because, he's got that 5-player flick ability. Oof, man, I don't know.
I'm trying to look to see if the next pick came up. They're showing Darius Robinson, so I don't know if he got picked next or not.
That was a guy on the Steelers
radar too. Yeah.
Graham Barton gone, huh? Oof. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that's tough.
We'll see. Now I'm starting to think the Steelers shouldn't trade back in the first round because all the guys I wanted are now gone. Only got maybe left.
If
JPJ.
I really like JPJ.
Yeah.
JPJ would be a nice get. Because then that makes their O line sound so much better.
Yeah.
JPJ plus getting you group him with Fernandes. I mean, it's pretty good. I think on paper, we'll see.
Yeah. What happens to Dan Moore now? Is he trade bait? Are they just gonna go? It's nice. It's nice to have that depth at tackle and
Yeah,
just
he
keep
can.
him for one more
Yeah,
year.
yeah, he can keep the bench for him. That's great. That's really about it for me.
Well, he's gonna if he's on the team, he's gonna start at least the first couple of weeks. You can almost guarantee that. You know the way Mike Tomlin rolls. It took him
Right.
forever to put Broderick Jones in. Never mind Trey Fatano. We'll see. Um, their offensive line's better. You can't doubt that. I mean, anything's an upgrade from Dan Moore
Yeah.
once he gets in there and plays. He should be anyway.
Right. I mean, we're talking about a guy, ranked by some top 15 compared to a guy we took at the fourth round.
Yeah, Dan Moore's fourth round pick. Yep.
So, I mean, I would like to think that, projection wise, yeah, we definitely upgraded. So,
Love to dangle Dan
but
Moore for a trade, but I don't know if anybody
yeah,
gave
but
anything.
yeah, but yeah, but yeah, like what's that going to get you?
Yeah,
A
I don't
seventh
know.
round and an attaboy? I mean, I don't.
I don't know. Starting tackles get you something. Maybe a lot of people don't look at him as harshly as we do.
Starting tackle
Yeah,
in quotations. Like, go on.
I'm just looking at the board too. Buffalo's up next. They're taking a wide receiver. And then Dallas is there at 29. They might take a center.
TJ put on here at this point, we're going to have to roll the jugs machine out there to snap the ball.
That is also a very good possibility that we've talked about it a million times. You're at 51 and you're either Cedric Van Pran or what? Like I said, I think I'd wait and take Hunter Norzad in the fourth round and go get another player at that point. I don't think there's much difference between those two guys, to be honest.
Yeah, the Cardinals did take Darius Robinson edge.
Okay. These
Bills
next two picks are going to be real interesting.
Yeah, Bills are up next.
I heard the Cowboys need a center almost as bad as the Steelers.
Uh-huh. And here's the thing, like, you want to know who they're probably going to say won this first round? Picks 21 through 32.
Yeah.
Like, that's
you
probably,
can even start at 20 to 32. If Futano works out,
true.
then you could start right there. Even
but
I would go 18.
Yeah.
Start with Mims and go back.
Yeah.
And that's
But so I could see them easily saying those teams won the first round because of just the caliber of player that fell that they were able to get at the bottom of the first round. I mean, she's a whiz, dude. Arnold and Quentin Mitchell, dude.
Brian Thomas
Jr. And, yeah, like, dude, that is nice. So we'll see.
Yeah. Jared Verse was supposed to be the best pass rusher in the draft. He went 19th to the Rams. It's crazy.
No one saw that kind of run of quarterback 6.
No, not in the top 15. No way.
No, dude. When that Jeremiah guy, when he said that he heard that the Falcons might take Michael Penix, I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Why in the world would they just what?
I tell you, you weren't following it on Twitter. You didn't want to be surprised, and I'm like, I was dying to talk to you about it. I'm like, holy fucking shit! I cannot believe.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching the stupid thing on Fubo. Fubo is like a minute behind everything. I couldn't even look at Twitter. I had to I would tweet something real quick and not look at anybody else's stuff, and I'd just put the phone down. I was like, because I didn't want it to be ruined. You did send me a sad face when the Bengals were picking.
I couldn't resist at that point, man. I was so disappointed.
You sent me a sad face, and I was sitting there and I went, "Oh no, they took Mims. They took Mims probably." And then he announced it. I was like, "Oh,
so disappointed." Like, they were within 2 picks of getting the guy I really wanted. And then in that short of time, I made my peace, and I'm like, all right, they're gonna take Graham Barton. Fuck it, we'll get our center. Or JPJ, we'll get our center, and that'll be done. And then if they come out with Fuatano, I'm like, wait a minute. This is not happening. I don't know. Again, I'm going to wait. I'm to pass judgment. I lean in negative right now. But
like I said, his teammates love him. He even got an award for it. So he must be a good leader guy. The Steelers definitely want. That's the thing. They definitely want leader guys. Leadership skills are something that they covet. And I don't blame them. Lord knows they could use it. So we'll
I
see,
also
man.
tweeted out Raiders need a quarterback. Can we fleece them for Justin Fields?
Oh, Chiefs are trading up to 28 with the Bills per sources.
Why would the Bills trade back? Because you know the Chiefs are going to take a wide receiver.
Oh man,
That
this
doesn't make any
is
sense to me either.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know who you think the Chiefs are trading up for. You think wide receiver?
They're going to take like AD Mitchell.
Probably. If they were going to take one, you're probably right.
I don't have the list of players available in front of me, but
Bleach Report. Bleach Report usually has a thing on theirs. If I can find it, bro, that's crazy. The Chiefs traded
they
up.
need what do they
Man,
need? Maybe they could use a tackle. Maybe they take Guyton,
when they want a wide receiver, you just said they need a wide receiver.
and they need a wide. Well, I'm trying to think if they don't take a wide receiver, who else would they take?
Um,
Um,
I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe they
Running
take
back?
Guyton there. I don't know. I
No,
don't think
not
any
running
running
back.
backs are in the top.
No, they're good there. Uh,
Uh, the
Offensive
defense, they
line.
lost corner. They lost. They traded that corner to the Steelers. Were kind of interested, in, so maybe they take a
Oh
corner.
yeah, you know what? That's a good call.
Who's left at corner? Um, Mitchell, maybe Cooper DeJean, right there, could be the pick too.
Would
Who
that be a
else?
hell of a pick?
Yeah, I did. That's another one I forgot was on the board was Cooper DeJean, who would have been something.
All right, I got the. All right, so I got the big board. What the hell is that? Big board. Let's see it. So there's Kool Aid McKinstry, corner.
That's another one. Yeah,
Jerzon Newton, DL. Keon Coleman, wide receiver, FSU. Jackson Powers Johnson. Zach Frazier, Cooper DeJean, Tyler Nubin, safety. Cooper Beebe, offensive lineman. Cameron Kitchens, safety. Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle. Nate Wiggins is still available. Dude, Nate Wiggins is still
what
available.
about Nate Wiggins too? I forgot about him too. That could be their pick. Yeah, they passed on a lot of good corners, man, to take to tackle that they needed. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
I don't
must
know who they're
really
going to.
like Dante Jackson. They must
Dude,
really, really like
the
Dante
Chief,
Jackson.
I think the Chiefs are going to take Kool Aid McKinstry.
Good.
I think that's what they're going to take. They lost a corner, draft a corner, a guy that's ranked how high and fucking falls to them. And now they traded up to 28 or whatever.
28, yep.
The rich get richer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Son
It's
of a
sad.
bitch.
It's a lot easier when you get a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes too, right? And then Brock Bowers fell quite a bit too. I'm like, who would the Steelers ever entertain that? Probably not, but it was
Nah,
interesting.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They're
So
they're they're showing on here Xavier Worthy. Is that who they took? A wide receiver?
the
Did they take a
fastest
wide
guy
receiver?
in the draft.
You know they love speed, guys. They
Yeah.
love them.
He's the one that ran that 4.28 40. He's a small
Yeah,
guy, but yeah, put him on that offense now and it's just like,
let them
okay,
cook.
whatever. We're dead. So you get tackle. We can go back to the conversations we've been having all along. Now, what's next? Do they take the wide receiver too that they need so bad, or they take center? What happens
Well,
tomorrow?
so you had them taking Graham Barton, correct? That was your mock you had,
Yeah, yeah.
and I had Mims. So position wise, I got that right. So I had them. You remember I had them taking Xavier Legette, wide receiver.
Yeah.
But what did
I
I
had him.
tell you? All the mocks were. I told you. I sent you this text. I said every one of my mocks is saying the Frazier's there at 51.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna stick with tomorrow. They either get Xavier Legette or Zach Frazier. I think that's what happens.
Yeah, I had Max Melton, but I don't know now. I don't know because they could have had the picker corners if they wanted, and they didn't. They chose not to.
Well, I like I said, I think they're gonna go get a center, or they're definitely gonna get one of these next tier of wide receivers that's
They
still
have to,
available.
right? At this
Yeah,
point, they
they have
have
to.
to. You can't. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know what
this is
they're.
but now that they didn't take these top corners not a concern to them. They're not concerned about corners.
Yeah, clearly they're not.
No,
Clearly they're not. That's why I don't feel good about Max Melton anymore because, well, he plays
no,
slot, so maybe that's a
no. I
thing.
I can see the is it Mike Sainristil out of Michigan in the
Yep.
third? I think it'd be the third if
Yep.
he falls to that. That's the guy I could see them taking. Something like that. But now to me, clearly I think it's gonna be center wide receiver next, and then anything could happen after that. Corner, defensive lineman. Um, that's basically where I think they go with this for the next couple rounds at least.
All right, man. I think we've covered this pretty good. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Should
Yep.
be an interesting day. Hopefully, there's more trades than we saw today. Today was kind of a dud.
Yeah, it was.
Trades in the draft. You got anything else before we get out of here?
No, those are my predictions. They're going to go center or wide receiver tomorrow. Or I'm sorry,
All
but
right.
2 and 3s tomorrow. So they can go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I
Two and
I
three
I,
tomorrow.
I predict center, wide receiver, and then I'll go corner or D line.
Yeah, I'm confused. I don't know what they're going to do now. I tend to agree with you. It's probably going to be. It got into my head. It's probably Zach Frazier if he's still there, and if he's not there, maybe Leggett tomorrow
And this
because
helps me
he's
to
probably going
draft
to be the
bash.
best wide receiver.
This helps me to draft bash because now I got the position right and you didn't.
Yeah.
So that
You
helps
got me
me.
because I screwed up the first three picks too. I took JJ McCarthy at third, and that
Oh,
didn't
that's
work out.
right. You didn't
Yeah.
take. Oh man, I thought you did
No.
because
No, I
I
blew
got
that
the
one.
second, third one back. I got them
Mixed
backwards.
up. Yeah.
So all right.
All right. As usual, you can find me on Twitter at SteelSank16. Email the show at daver@steelsanctuary.com. Subscribe to the podcast. Dave, give me your stuff. Let's get out of here.
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at DMC3SSP. You can find me on Twitter at Steel Sanctuary Podcast or at Steel Sank Pod. And don't forget, guys, I got the sports books at signupexpert.com/nothingness.
All right. Until next time, thanks for listening to the Steel Sanctuary podcast.